All right, good afternoon. It's 12:30 p.m. here in the UK, and spring is springing. It's sprung. It's beginning to come here. The warmth has moved in, and gone is the snow from last week because we had it all of 3 days here in the southwest. So anyway, I want to talk to you today about value. What is it? How can we put ourselves out there? Everybody's talking about giving value. You've got to give value. You've got to lead with value. Have this value. What the heck is it? Shall we talk about that? Because I've got some ideas to throw at you. And when everybody's giving value, how do you differentiate yourself? So let's talk about that as well. So, all right, value, we're taught, and there's nothing wrong with this. We are taught to lead with value, that you should always give value in return, for something else, that it invokes that law of reciprocity. And, that when you give something, you get something back. But I think the problem is there are so many marketers out there. And this term value, it gets confusing. What is value actually? Well, actually, value is something that entertains. And if you can make someone laugh, actually, that is the best value of all. It's something that somebody finds useful. It's something that's informative to them, something that's going to actually help them. It might be something that makes them feel inspired, something that, really helps them with a problem they've got. A problem-solving value bomb is really priceless if you can come up with it. So how do we find them? Now, I know that typically we are taught these three words: learn, do, teach. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. That is absolutely what you should do. And actually, it's a really great way to start practicing when you're putting your stuff out there, when you're getting yourself out there, you're getting yourself known, is to do the learn, do, teach. However, I think what a lot of people tend to do is they do the learning part, they run for the textbook or the YouTube video and they say, right, okay, so I've just learned that. They kind of skip over the do part a little bit, or maybe do it a little bit and then just put it out there. Now, the problem with that is there's no real personal experience that's going into that. You're better off learning it, doing it, immersing yourself in it, playing with it, and then coming up with a way to deliver it in a way that you've actually found, this actually works for me. And I think I've uncovered something that may be a little bit different, that nobody else is doing, that nobody else is talking about. And that's really what happened with me when I started getting friction within my internet marketing business, is because I was actually telling people, this is something really useful that I've figured out how to do it. And figuring it out, it kind of gets it well embedded. You can actually teach it really well, really comprehensively. And people are going to feel there's more of this natural energy, if you know what I mean. They're going to feel more drawn into your world because you are talking from a place of experience and you're sharing that experience with people. And you will find that there's more of a vibe, there's more excitement around what you're sharing. Now, I think a lot of people, as I say, they tend to skip over the do part, or they do it a little bit and then they just put it out there. Now, what I would suggest is that you actually really do play with something when you're learning it. Now, I know that kind of puts a bit of a delay in, especially if you're a newbie marketer. Okay, you're just keen, you want to get out there and do stuff. I would recommend learn it, do it, play with it, immerse yourself in it. But while you're wanting to get yourself out there, draw on your past experiences. Teach about stuff, and it doesn't have to be related to internet marketing, because I know a lot of people go out, how to build your list, how to get leads, how to build your brand and all that kind of thing. And everybody's regurgitating the same stuff. So how about you go out and you tell people, I find this really nerve-wracking and here's how I deal with my anxiety. That actually helps people on a level that they think, that makes me feel normal because I'm suffering with this as well. And actually, this is something I did a talk on last week, just dealing with anxiety. It could be anything that's happened to you that's part of your story that you can share with someone that's actually going to help someone. It doesn't have to be directly related to internet marketing. It might be a funny story that you want to share with people. And I would say start there, start with your story, because you'll be amazed. Actually, that attracts your tribe quicker than anything. And I remember the very first story I shared on video, and it's still on my page actually. And it was about a time when I was bullied at school, and how this bullying actually, it crippled me into my adult life, because it really impacted on my confidence, because my default thought was, when I met someone new, was that they didn't like me. And you can imagine how that holds you back in life. You know, that was a belief that had come into my head. That was something, and it was a bullshit belief, because people did like me. But you can imagine my behaviour towards them is going to be far more closed off, because I'm feeling defensive. They probably don't like me anyway. You can see from my face, you know, it changes. But actually, when you change that belief, and this actually hampered me well into my 30s, believe it or not. And I actually did a confidence course, because I felt so crippled by it. I couldn't network with people. I couldn't talk to people. I know you're probably looking at me and thinking, that just doesn't seem like you, Karen, but it was. I was terrified. It used to cripple me to a point that you can't believe. And I have actually written articles on, you know, boosting your confidence. But when you start sharing stuff like that, that is pure value. Don't share a struggle you're right in the middle of. Share how you've overcome it. That is pure value, and people will love you for it. And while you're doing that, you can be learning the stuff, you can be implementing the stuff and playing with the stuff. And then once you get those aha moments, that's when you share. That's when you share. And at the moment, actually, why I've been quite quiet, I have been dealing with some emotional stuff, as you know, from the last few months. But I've actually been completely immersing myself in learning some new strategies for Facebook ads, more so. And, you know, I've been putting together bits from one teacher, bits from another teacher, and I'm kind of putting it together, and I'm having these big aha moments. I'm not going to share it yet, simply because I need to know it works first, because I'm actually putting stuff together. And then if I get a winning formula, of course I'm going to share it with you guys. But I'll probably make it a lead magnet or something, because then you have to give me your email address for it. You know, this is something else we need to talk about, and it's the opt-ins. It's getting so commonplace. People are even like, do I even want to hand over my email address for this? So here's another tip for you. This is probably for a slightly more advanced marketer. When you do have those big aha moments, and it's something you can teach and even maybe do a mini course on, you want to turn that into a lead magnet. But here's what you do. You make it what's called a content upgrade. Okay, a content upgrade. That means you lead with your value. We call it preeminence. There's a marketer called Jay Abrams who talks about preeminence. I recommend you look him up on YouTube, because preeminence is really giving a lot up front. And this is how I'm restructuring a couple of lead magnets that I've put together. And it's actually leading with your best information, or sort of at least 50% of your best information first. And you say, you know, this is the stuff I'm going to teach you. Here's a big lump of what I'm teaching you. And by the way, if you want the rest of it, now you opt in. Now, can you see the difference between saying, hey, get my great ebook, give me your email address, to here's some really great information first. Now, if you want some more, you're going to have to give me your email address. People are going to feel so much, they've had so much from you already, that actually handing over that email address is not going to be such an obstacle for them. And this is how you should be thinking about presenting, you know, a lot of your value as well. One of the reasons I work with the opportunity I do is because so much value is given for the $1. Most of you know I'm with the Super Affiliate Network. You can see the entire boot camp, which is like 18 modules, for $1. And you get the full, you know, traffic, lead generation, how to convert leads into sales, training, from beginning to end, plus all the mindset stuff. And, you know, it is just such a solid training. I feel it's completely within my integrity to promote it, because you've got all the information there, and it's $1. And this is true preeminence, because it's giving you so much before you even think about investing any further. You can decide if that $1, and you've been through the boot camp, whether you want to take it further or not. And I think that's absolutely fair. So, that's why I do what I do. And if you want to check that out, do go to superaffiliatesrock.com. But yeah, lead with value, that overly used word. But, don't be afraid. As I put in a post yesterday, you probably saw it. If something makes you belly laugh, share it. If something inspires you, share it. If something just makes you, I don't know, light up in some way, share it, because that is going to attract into your world your people who are going to get you because you're laughing over the same things. Don't just sort of think, oh, I'll share that because, if it doesn't really resonate with you on any level, don't share it. But if it does, do. Just like with this video, if anything's resonating here, please do like, share, and all those good things. And give me some hearts too. Right, I'm going to hop over to the comments now because I see loads of you are here. Thank you so much for joining me. And I really do recommend. Gareth, content upgrades are awesome. And this, I owe it to this chap. Hang on. Can we see? Oh, here we go. Create overlay. Sorry, and Gareth recommended this eCam package to me as well. I love Gareth. Follow Gareth because he was the one who told me about content upgrades, and it is absolutely genius. So thank you, Gareth. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, because now I'm moving forward and that's what I'm implementing into my business, because it just makes so much sense. When there's so much competition, it's just a great way to differentiate yourself. Right, so Natalie, hi Natalie, great to see you. Gareth again, sorry, I've got right to the beginning of the comments now. Asda price. Don't know what you're talking about there, Gareth, but yeah, hey, Asda, yeah, oh, cheap as chips, aren't they? Yeah, is that what you're talking about, the $1? My dad's here. Rachel, love this topic. Thanks, Rachel, great to have you here. Impressively said, reciprocity. Do you know what, Natalie? I have struggled with that word so much, and I've used it on lives before and completely messed it up. Reciprocity. Reciprocity. I won't say it when I've had a gin. No, I won't do that. And hi, Joanne. Great to see you. Julian. And Natalie, this is how I've started with my new immersion into lives. Exactly. And now you've immersed yourself. You're actually better equipped to teach how to give a good live and get that feedback and actually learn, what works and what doesn't. And when you work out the stuff that does work and doesn't work and you pass that on, that's real value, not just regurgitating, oh, here's a marketing tip for you. When you know it and you've used it and you've practiced it, you genuinely know, and you can talk about it with experience, which I think just gives you that edge over the people who are just regurgitating stuff, basically. And Gareth, yes, I love you too. And it's lovely to see you. You're not on Facebook so much these days because you're over on LinkedIn, aren't you? But it's great to have you here. Oh, and my mum's there as well. Hello, mum and dad. Yeah, so guys, oh, hi Sean, I skipped over you there. Yeah, thank you. Rule number 1, create value, but make sure it's genuine value, something that you've genuinely found useful yourself and that you genuinely know someone else will benefit from. And here's another tip. If you find something out and you think, I really want to keep this one for myself, don't. Because that will help more than anything. Because most people actually, when you teach this stuff, they don't actually even put it into action a lot of the time. And if it is that if it's that good, that is a perfect lead magnet. Turn it into a lead magnet. Okay. And maybe make a mini course where you'd have, say, 3 or 4 videos, break it down into 4 sections, lead with your first 2, then say, if you want the rest of this great information, then you're going to have to sign up for it. There you go. Natalie says, I don't have your flow on the lives yet, but so true. Natalie, you're brilliant at them. Honestly, you're doing yourself down here. You have a beautiful flow on the lives, and it'll get better. It'll get easier the more and more you do it, which is probably what you're finding at the moment. And hello, Sarka Pajush. How lovely to have you here. And I work with Sarka on a crypto project called Mass Crib, who you may have heard me talk about before as well. And it's really exciting. It's launching on the exchanges tomorrow. So very, very exciting times there. And Cynthia says, I'm new with this with San. Thank you for your info. You know, this is the thing. It's really actually giving something that you guys can work with. And I really hope that if you've just jumped on, you'll go back to the beginning and watch the video over, because I've actually given you some really good tips here, and to really help you get over what is this value thing? What is it? Because I remember when I started, it was kind of, I really don't know what I'm doing here. And I was doing that regurgitating thing, just looking something up on YouTube and saying, right, I'll do that, and just literally putting it out there. But you can't get away with it so much these days. There's so much competition in the marketplace. You have to be genuine. You have to have it coming from, you know, a place, you know, from the heart, and deliver it in such a way that people know that you know what you're talking about. I think that's probably a big difference. And hey, Neville from Down Under, great to see you as well. It's kind of late for you, is it, Neville? Or is it just kind of late evening? Was it 9, 10 o'clock there? All right, guys. Well, I'm going to sign off there. I hope you got value. But I hope you got some genuine insights and something that you can take away. Give me some hearts and give me some thumbs up. And if you feel inclined, please share this video, and I will see you next time. Bye. Oh, where's my screen's just disappeared. Finished.